And welcome back. Well, our mother helps to shape who we become as women. Asking for mom's advice or talking about a problem with her, something many people miss when mom is no longer around for comfort.
So what would mama say is the question. Our next guest asked herself as she turned her teaching career into a writing career. And this is her book titled Mama Said. It's the small victories that count. Bonnie Edwards is an author and teacher. She's a teacher because her mom asked her to consider it. In fact, and I love this part, her mom saw her teaching in her future before she even did.
That's
true.
How
moms
Absolutely.
are.
They are. They just know, right?
They do. And I know you're no longer teaching, but you've used so many of your experiences and what you learned doing that as part of your writing career.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's, you know, it's, what can I say? It's a double benefit. It's a blessing to be able to not only have taught in the system, in a public school system, but also getting an opportunity to be a mother and to appreciate what my mother actually had to go through with me. And when I reflect on that experience, I think, oh, I can't believe that I gave my mother such a hard time, but that's what teenagers do, right?
Yes.
You know, so we're always testing the waters with our mothers, with our parents. But I was very, very blessed, very fortunate to have the type of mother that I did, very strong woman and someone who believed in her children. You know, I'm one of 7 siblings, and I have a twin brother, and I have younger brothers that are twins. So my mother, along with my dad, they were pretty busy.
2 sets of
she
twins?
actually had 3 sets of twins
No
in my
way.
family.
What?
Oh yes, way.
3 sets of twins.
Yes, absolutely. The first set of twins passed prematurely, and so a few years later, when technology improved in the medical field, my brother and I were born, and 4 years later she had another set of twins. So I see it as a blessing. You know, no matter how you look at it, it's just a blessing. 1 set of twins in one family is a blessing, but to have 3 sets, you know.
Seriously, exactly. Well, and that's really where your story comes in. It's about a mother who shares these pearls of wisdom with her daughter.
Yes, absolutely. In the story, it's a lighthearted story. And in the story, you get an opportunity to really, really understand and appreciate the importance of a mother and a daughter's bond. And I remember it as a teenager growing up, being sort of defiant and, again, not really understanding and appreciating the wisdom that our mothers teach us, you know, as we go along in life. And it wasn't until I became an adult, became a mother myself, became a wife, and became an educator that I really, really understood the full magnitude of the impact, the influence that my mother actually had within my own career and as, you know, as an educator myself.
Were there any fun sayings that really stick out in your mind? Things she said, especially if they were funny, or they're things that just came true in your life that you often go back to in your mind?
You know, my mom said a whole lot, and on my way here today, in planning for this segment, I remembered, and I shared this with my husband. I said, you know, Mama always said, if you plan to be early, you'll never be late. And it made sense to me. So I received so many good things in terms of advice and lessons from my mother. And the one that I tend to fall back on quite a bit throughout my adulthood is the small victories that count. And even when I taught in the system, I found myself saying to my students when they felt like when they appeared to be a little discouraged, I would say, hey, you know, try not to look at the big picture here in terms of being successful or successfully reading a book. Try to take it one step at a time, and that's what my mother taught me, is take it one step at a time, and it's the small victories that really count.
I like that.
So yeah, I do
like
too,
that.
and it's sustained me for all these years. Yes.
Well, and it's something that truly you care about still, is this how educators can take pearls of wisdom, and that's something you do as well, is create these little nuggets and tools for educators to use with students, right?
Absolutely, and I love your reference to nuggets because that's what a lot of the advice that we receive from our parents and our mothers. And as an educator, what I've tried to do is take my experience as an educator, identify what areas that we can improve on as teachers in terms of reaching out to families. So in the story, the mother did that. The mother in the story reached out. The main character, Benita, came home and Mom asked, well, how was your day at school? Well, in real life, my mother, when she would ask me or my siblings that question, she expected some responses more than the abbreviated response.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Fine.
Right. No, and my mom was like, "Oh no, really? How was your day in school?" You know, she was very interested, very in tune, and so as a young person, Bonita, the main character in the story, she would try to get away with that response. It was all right, and she makes reference to that in the story. And the mother, my mom, in the stories didn't accept that. She wanted to know, really, did you learn anything? What did you learn today? You know, did you struggle with your writing today? What happened really today?
And I loved all the pink that we have here, the cupcakes
Oh,
and
yes.
the flowers.
Oh,
and
yes.
It's kind of a hallmark. It's the theme of your book.
Yes, absolutely. So my hope is to really focus on why the second edition. This is actually, we're celebrating our 5th year with Mama Said. The original Mama Said actually was produced in 2011, so this is our 5th year with the second edition.
That's great.
And inside that second edition is the Communications Companion.
Yes,
and it's
great.
this is the tool that would be so helpful to educators, to families, because what it does is it starts the dialogue. It talks about, you know, it gets into what a student is interested in. You know, what is your topic of interest? How do you know that's a topic of interest? Yes.
We're out of time, but people can get this at your website, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's the website where you can find more, plus the book signings going on with Bonnie. There's November 12th. It's 9 a.m. at the Sheraton, Milwaukee, and November 19th at the Metropolitan Milwaukee Alliance for a Black Education. So you can find out more is by visiting her website, mamasaidwhattome.com for more information.
Awesome.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
It
being
was
here.
truly
So
an
much.
honor. Thank
Thank
you.
That's